Now, the Nottingham killer, Valdo Calocane, was sectioned 4 times in the 2.5 years before he went on to kill Barnaby Webber, Grace O'Malley-Kumar and Ian Coates.
And that's one of the findings from a damning independent report into the mental health care of the paranoid schizophrenic Calocane, who was sentenced to an indefinite hospital order for manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. The victims' families fought for the full report to be published. Originally, there was only going to be an executive summary published, and the report says he was spared prison because he was potentially... the court was potentially misled over his mental health treatment. That's the family's conclusion from reading the full report.
Well, Emma Webber, whose son Barnaby was killed in the attack, says the public inquiry they've been promised is more important than ever, and she joins us now.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
It is lovely to see you. It's always lovely to see you. You're such a strong survivor of this absolute catastrophe, which we now know in this individual's mental health treatment. You have with you the full report. It is hundreds of pages long.
Yeah, it's here.
It's here, and you have had it...
plus.
300 pages long. Yeah. You have had it for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You have said consistently this needs to be out there to everybody. What was going to happen up until this time, or about tea time yesterday? What were you being told by NHS England?
We were told that they would not go against the law of the land, and therefore reports are not published in full. It's not done. And I'm guessing I'm not an expert, and I don't think I should even have to delve into that, nor should the rest of the families. But our legal team have petitioned on our behalf for weeks and weeks and weeks to say, no, it's in the public duty, it's in the public interest, and ultimately it's in the public safety for this to go out there. It's patient confidentiality, and that's the word I have to use, is patient. This is somebody who's a brutal triple murderer. If he'd had his way, he would have murdered 3 more and more again.
And he's been convicted.
He's not even a criminal, Ed. He's a patient. And he's on an indefinite hospital order, which means that there's no penal element whatsoever for him to be answerable for his crimes. And this report is 300 pages long, but just to illustrate the complexity and the epic level of failures across all these different agencies. This is one of 9 that we've had to be involved in, and all of them, for the 2 failing police forces, the CPS, the criminal justice system, and the mental health trust, between all of them, they are full of gaps, of holes, of omissions, of finger-pointing, of lack of accountability. And this 300-page atrocity, and it's terrifying stuff that's in there, is just... It's not a rogue one-off.
No.
This happened in June 23. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia in May 2020. It's not actually a very long period of time in the scheme of things. But it's happened since, hasn't it? Obviously, Southport is one very, very public example, but there are hundreds of these reports. There are thousands and thousands of victims of mental health-related homicide. And I think what I'm trying to illustrate in probably a long-winded way is that it's never changed.
When you read the report now, is there a particular moment where you just see a failure of leadership to act? I mean, I know there's many, but is there one point where you think, what were they doing?
Yeah, well, all the way through is what were they doing? You have 4 sectionings, and people that are mentally unwell at this level are often sectioned more than once. I understand that, and this is in no way an attack on anyone who's got mental health problems. However, the difference here is he was sectioned 4 times for violent assault on other people. The risk, the danger that he posed to society, to the public, to staff, was never properly addressed. There's evidence in this report that the care workers on the ground, out in the field, as it were, in Nottingham, raised concerns. They were so afraid of him that they were told, do not go solo. Go in pairs, make sure you know your exit so you know how to get out of the property. The last time of those 4 sections, I think, is probably the worst, really, because he was discharged by a clinician who thus far has not been held accountable in any way, shape or form because he didn't conform. So he didn't turn up to meetings or appointments or respond to letters. So he was discharged for that, for non-compliance, which meant that he was sent back to primary care. So a discharge letter was sent to his GP. GPs have thousands of patients, hundreds of letters a week as standard.
And are not mental health experts.
No.
So...
But also there was no red flag, there was no warning, there was nothing in place.
No.
This was September 2022, he was discharged. There was a warrant out for his arrest at the same time. There was no risk assessment done whatsoever. There was evidentially no reading, no cross-checking of that clinician or teams of clinicians to check, was there a warrant out there? Had they read his previous records?
Our focus is naturally on the NHS.
It's not just them.
Because it's an NHS report.
Yeah,
but of course, the police are the people responsible for keeping people safe.
Yeah.
And, we've talked to you about this before. We've been trying to speak to Nottinghamshire Police. They won't talk to us.
Yeah, good luck with that.
They hide behind an independent review, which is we have no information about. But, I mean, how much of this is NHS failing, or how much of it is about the NHS police not working together, or did the police not act?
All of it. I think it's very difficult to put into words that anybody can comprehensively understand how big these failings are. And it's two police forces, it's the NHS Mental Health Trust, the criminal justice system, the CPS, all of it. Right from May 2020, right up to today, there are, I think the key words are, there are countless missed opportunities for intervention and for that, as Sanjoy Grace's dad always says, is for that oil tanker to turn 1 degree and the whole course of where it would end up would be different. And that's the case here. That's how desperate it is.
There is clearly justification for a public inquiry, which... And you have been, as you say, there are 9 reviews, reports. You're having to campaign, constantly overturn these hurdles. Where are you getting to with the public inquiry?
OK, yeah, so the reports, 9 of them, most aren't fit for purpose. I will put it out there now, the IOPC, we do not believe are fit for purpose. It's a watchdog that's failing.
OK, on that,
all of these...
can I tell you what the spokesperson for the Independent Office for Police Conduct said? Because you'll be interested in this. We have expanded the scope of our inquiries after receiving new complaints, and we will complete that work as quickly as we can and report our findings.
Yeah. It's not the time today to talk about because we're focusing on the NHS, but where we are, it's been the most monumental battle. It's not new. They've not taken into account. It's taken 18 months of fighting to get the terms of reference agreed.
It's not fair on you.
It's not fair. It's not right, and it shouldn't happen. But what we can confirm is, yes, we were promised a public inquiry, and that was July last year. The key thing the most important thing is that inquiry is a statutory one, and that's the most important relevant word here, because a statutory inquiry means that every individual, organisation, institution are compelled to attend. They're compelled to tell the truth and to give the evidence. And only then will, I think, the proper truth, the proper horror be fully uncovered. It's not a witch hunt.
No, it's accountability.
It's accountability. However, it's ultimately it's got to change. The laws have got to change. The treatment, the care, the NHS, all of it's got to change. But it might be difficult to lose your job, but it's a lot easier than losing your life, your son, your daughter, your dad. And it will happen again. It has happened again, hasn't it? And yes, so we are campaigning, fighting, pushing, screaming with the government to make sure that they said they'll meet with us next week or the week after, where the terms will be fully revealed. But it has to be statutory.
It's shocking what's in this report.
It is. It's awful stuff.
And well done for getting it. The NHS England finally agreed to publish. But honestly, the energy that it's taking for you...
At what cost?
Is exactly right.
There's this phrase, lessons learned.
Ooh.
And the trouble is, you know that you recall from that because you think that is an excuse, well, we need to learn lessons. Actually, we need to make sure this doesn't happen like this again, and therefore things need to change.
Yeah.
And lessons learned is not a good phrase.
It's like when you say to them, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You haven't seen for a while. You don't really want the last 10 years of their life, do you? You just enough is enough. Yeah. Get this done. I don't want to chain myself to Downing Street,
No.
but I will. Grace's parents, Ian's family, we will do whatever we have to do to right this wrong.
Good.
We're with you. I promise you, Barney. I promise you.
We also had a statement from Nottinghamshire Healthcare NHS Foundation, who said, "We apologise unreservedly for the opportunities we missed in the care of Valdo Calocane and accept the report in its entirety."
Should never have happened.
No, he should be here. Not here today. He should be in Nottingham on his final year of university.
I know.
Being 21 years old.
Because it was just his birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his birthday last month, and that was crucifying.
His 21st.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm honestly.
I know.
But your determination to kind of persevere to get to the truth is really, really important. So thank you for
thank you.
what you're doing. It is important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You know, we're with you.
I know, thank you. Thanks.
And I know...
And so is he.
I know you hold him in your...
He's in there, yeah.
The locket there in the locket.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's with Grace. He's up there with Ian, probably learning to fish. Oh, God. But thank you. I don't want to be a mess, hot mess all day, but thank you, everybody.
I don't know how you get through it. I don't. And I know that the viewers are completely with you.
Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it.
I want to say keep fighting, but I don't see why you should have to.
I hope that this is our last big fight push, and that if we get that statutory inquiry, then we know we can hand it over to the people in our team that really know what they're doing, because we're just finding our way. And then just it can be done. And then we can try and learn and find a way forward. And and then we can start talking about the lack of victim support in this country when awful things happen. We can then talk about the epidemic of knife crime.
Yes.
That's sadly for another day.
I know.
From our perspective, but just enough is enough.
If you're affected by those issues, and honestly, everybody is, you can find advice and support at itv.com/helplines. Emma, thanks so much indeed.